I feel like I'm supposed to do some sort of festive holiday special, but I don't really want to. You can call me Grinch or call me Scrooge, but I really struggle with the whole holiday spirit thing. The stress, the expectations, the rampant commercialism. I'd rather just skip it all. Sprinkle in a bit of seasonal depression, and it's kind of tough to be told to be all merry and bright. Of course, that results in feeling like you're missing out on the magic of the season, which doesn't help things either. I feel like I'm probably not the only one who feels this way deep down. I feel like there should be another way. I feel like there should be
a Festivus for the rest of us. If you're not familiar with Festivus, it's a holiday that came into the zeitgeist via the 90s sitcom Seinfeld. The traditional symbol of Festivus is, of course, the unadorned aluminum pole, which for a machining channel seems perfectly appropriate. One of the other main parts of the Festivus celebration is, of course, the airing of grievances, in which you tell people in your lives how they've disappointed you over the past year. I've got some problems with some of you people, and you're gonna hear about it. We're gonna start out with Jimmy Twizzle, who writes, 28 minutes of my life wasted. Cut out all the failures, and the video could have been about 20 seconds. Jimmy, I'm really sorry that it took you 28 minutes to figure out you didn't like a video. Jimmy, I'm sure, is also the kind of person that complains about shorts and TikTok and people not having a long attention span. For the rest of you, the rest of this video is just going to be me roasting these sort of comments, so if you don't want to see that, leave me a snarky comment because it helps with the engagement scores and helps this video reach more people, and then go watch some cat videos or something. But let's talk about the failures and the mistakes. The reason I show my failures and mistakes is because a lot of times I'm showing something I'm trying for the first time, and I think a lot of people get hung up and never try new things because they get hung up on the idea that they're going to fail or they're going to make mistakes along the way. And I just want to show that that's okay. That happens. That's part of learning. I mean, Bob gets it. He says, thank you for sharing your entire thought process plus the oopses that you ran into instead of doing what most channels that hide their mistakes and other things that don't go correctly. Seeing how another home shop machinist goes about a job with similar equipment and raw materials is very helpful, as well as giving an idea of what ought to expect is worth its weight in YouTube gold. Happy Festivus, Bob. Dave wrote in, and what did we learn from this? Yet another aluminum job in the machine shop. If this were in steel, S-T-E-A-L, I would subscribe. You may recall in that video I said, I made 3 of these blanks, 2 out of aluminum to kind of get my numbers dialed in and then test them. And then the real one will be made out of 304 stainless. So look guys, if you're going to leave snarky comments, at least pay attention, otherwise it's not a good look for you. Also, thanks for subscribing. That splines video reached a lot of people, means I got a lot of comments too. John wrote, a trip to the salvage yard and a hardware store with some good welding would have solved this issue in about 2 minutes. Or I could try to do it the right way. Same video, Michael says, your time is worth money, was screaming at this YouTube saying, go get the raw from McMaster Car, it's painful to watch. 1, I checked, you can't actually buy it from McMaster Car. Look, if you're going to tell me to go buy something from McMaster Car, first of all, go look and see if they actually sell it, because they didn't sell this one. Second, this channel is called Jeremy Makes Things. It's a hobby. I actually enjoy making these things. That's the point. What am I up to? Third, if you actually saw the ad revenue from this video, it wouldn't be very painful. Don't worry. Michael says, Jesus bro, must be Spanish. Jesus bro, you're pretty inaccurate with most of your processes. If you took more time in your measurements, you could have made that one broach for multiple sizes. A brooch that does multiple size holes? It's a Festivus miracle. This is a subject that's come up occasionally in the comments. Another one from Diego. It all depends on the minimum precision level you impose on yourself. On 90% of the shown techniques in this video, you're cutting corners, so you are shaving pieces of precision in the final product. I really don't get the point of choosing the non-precise method when it comes to machining. I don't know if you've noticed this, but most of my machines are pretty old and worn out. I can eke out precision on them when I need to, but it's a lot of work, and most of the time I don't need to. I would say if you don't know when to apply precision and when not to, then no, you don't understand machining. For example, this is a perfectly functional Festivus pole. It's also going to make a really good shop towel holder when I'm done with this video. But there's nothing that needs to be precision about it. Apparently, there's a lot of you that don't like the idea of an electric Jeep. I'm probably going to do an entire video on this because it turns out there's a lot of you that don't like this idea, and you need to know why I'm doing this. Quick sampling. I think I'm about to lose power. You lost me at the electric motor. Yeah, kills the Jeep vibe there. Because nobody that drives a Jeep wants, low-end torque, low center of gravity, good weight distribution, that sort of thing. Run-on sentence. Get the original motor running and use that. To hell with the electric motor. That doesn't deserve no electric motor. You're going to ruin it. Yeah, I'm really worried about ruining this thing. You killed my interest when you mentioned electric conversion. Bye. I mean, there's 1,600 of you that subscribed from that video, so bye-bye. I've got a problem with the 5 people that unsubscribed because of the Halloween video. That was pretty funny. Also, the algorithm. Oh, I got a lot of problems with the algorithm, but that video had a really high click-through rate, and the percentage that people watched that video was a lot longer, but because it was a shorter video and the total view time was lower, the algorithm didn't like it. Left a comment saying, hardenability, several laughing emojis. Only an American could make that up. Here's an excerpt from the University of Cambridge. Hardenability is the ability of a steel to partially or completely transform from austenite to some fraction of martenite. Hardenability is the ability of a steel to partially or completely transform from austenite to some fraction of martensite at a given depth below the surface. Look, if you want to make fun of me for being an American, using inches is good, imperial tendencies of my country, expensive healthcare, there's plenty of things, but command of the English language, I do all right. Nick says, Mr. Pete has a great video on drilling square holes. You know who else does? And I'm going to end with thoughts from Alan W., who writes, whilst I'm no orator on the topic of machine aggregating, I will say, however, if by happenstance you were to receive and elucidate alluding to a perceived disparaging volcanologist's statements of a negative narration, response simply to those persons, to kindly curvature their pigeoned derriere north, and oscillate the wind. Well done. Happy Festivus, everyone. I'm going to head over to Patreon and see if any of my patrons can wrestle me to the floor.